Welcome back to my channel. My name is KateSemeniuk and I'm happy to share with you today proven ways how to overcome fear of public speaking. I've already have a video about fear of public speaking and its roots and causes and symptoms, but today I really want to focus on how to actually overcome it. What can you do that is easy, that is not fearful, that you don't have to expose yourself to public speaking? You know, people say that expose yourself, do it as many times. It helps. It really helps. Let me get you to this idea. It really helps if you expose yourself to public speaking, but many people do that and they still feel fear, panic attack, anxiety, and they cannot understand why. Fear of public speaking is just a surface symptom. It's never a real cause. I have a public speaking because this is just a fear of public speaking. No, it's usually a much deeper root. So watch my video about fear of public speaking and you will understand that it's coming from childhood. Sometimes it's not, by the way, and I'm going to cover those. So it's either two ways. Either people say, I've always been shy. I have always been shy, so I never really was able to speak in public. Remember that when we are born as kids, we are born abundant. We don't really care what people say about us. So we are not shy. We learn to be shy. We adopt that protective mechanism, coping mechanism, to be shy, to be small, to be hidden from the world, not to be seen. No, you are born confident, ultimately confident. Look at the kids, look at the babies in strollers. They don't care. They show up for themselves. They speak up for themselves. They don't really care unless a child learns from a very early age that it's dangerous to speak up, to show up, to be seen, and to be heard, right? So sometimes people say, it's because I'm always been shy. That's not true. You were born confident and you were born to be able to speak in front of as many people as you want. However, sometimes we adopt that strategy that, no, that's dangerous. Remember about your camera mind. Your camera mind that takes pictures of everything around you at some point decided that if more than two people look at you, super scary. I'll get you out of it. Panic attack, anxiety, and lots of physical symptoms. And you know, if you have a fear of public speaking, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes fear of public speaking comes after some shocking event. For example, you were absolutely confident speaking in public. You were okay, you were happy, you were self-assured, you felt safe, you felt okay, you even enjoyed it. Many people enjoy public speaking, but at some point, something happened, maybe criticism, maybe you were in a very emotional state. You know, I had clients who loved to speak in public and suddenly something happened and they cannot do it again. Maybe they were judged. Maybe there was a negative feedback that they were not ready for. And as I said, it's just a surface symptom. Usually it's fear of judgment that got triggered. Some emotional moment that was at that time and you decided, no, I don't want to do that again. Criticism, negative feedback, not feeling good enough. Maybe you had very high expectation of the public speaking event and it didn't go as you expected. And people who have very high expectations of themselves, perfectionists, high achievers, people who always want to be the best, a little negative feedback can crush their confidence a lot. So either or, doesn't matter. These are the proven ways how you can overcome your fear of public speaking. And sometimes I say your fear, disregard this. It's not your fear, it's just their fear. Never say that. Marisa Peer taught me this trick. Never identify yourself as it's my fear, it's my anxiety, it's my panic attack, it's my person. No, it's not yours. It's just the fear that came into your life and will leave your life as well. So number one, if you are afraid of public speaking, one proven way is take a little presentation, or maybe you just want to talk about yourselves. Stand up in the mirror and look yourself in the eyes. and talk. And talk, whatever it is. Maybe you want to tell about yourself. Maybe you want to present what you're doing, about your career, your job. Maybe you want to talk about your kids. Start with something exciting. So what are you excited about? Maybe your passion, your hobby. Stand in front of the mirror, look into your eyes, and talk to yourself. That way, you will get used to yourself. A lot of fear of public speaking comes from self-rejection. I don't accept myself. I don't love myself. I don't like myself. I don't like how my voice sounds. I don't like how I look like. I don't like my face, my hair, my nose, anything. My body, my weight, and how I stand, how I hold myself. This could be a root that you don't love yourself. So when you start to look into your eyes and practice speaking, that's the first way, the first step to overcome the fear of public speaking. Also, another good trick and tip is get used to your voice. Get used to your voice. I remember I would record my voice and I hated it. I hated my voice. It felt squeaky, squishy, whatever it was like childish. I really didn't like my voice. So how are you able to speak in public if you don't love your voice? You always hear it and you have to enjoy it. Your voice was given to you for a reason. It's perfect by default. Your voice is perfect by default. Every voice, every human voice is beautiful, no matter what it is. So get used to your voice. Maybe record something. Record yourself a meditation. Just read from the script, from the website, or, lots of free resources. And just listen. Listen, get used to loving your own voice, even before you get into public. Another good tip, number 3, is define why you need this public speaking. Very often people, they work at jobs that they don't like, and they have to go into meetings and they have to do public speaking events, but they don't enjoy what they're doing. When you don't enjoy what you're doing, your mind is going to help you. It's going to help you to not like it even more. So you can come up with different fears and phobias, like social anxieties. If you don't like your job, you can develop social anxiety, maybe fear of public speaking, fear of driving even can be from not loving what you do. Fear of flying can be from not loving what you do. So define what do you need the public speaking for. It's really, really important because it's hard to overcome something that is coming from your heart. If you don't like it, the more you fight it, the more your body will resist. So follow that. Another good tip is practice to speak in public in front of your loved ones. For example, in front of your partner. Like my first YouTube video, what I did is I put my husband in front of me and I kind of recited the video. I was stumbling. I had lots of these words that I'm still using them, but working on that. I was talking and speaking in front of my husband, and then I even put my daughter, and she's like, "You're doing great, Mom." Right? So put in front of you people who will support you and who will understand you, so that you do this gradual, confidence. You're building up your confidence gradually. Another good tip is imagine the worst scenario that can happen after the public speaking event. I talk about it a lot in my different videos, but I usually come back to this point all the time. Imagine the worst scenario and accept it. I even have a black book. Me and my husband have a black book of the worst scenarios that can happen in this world, up to like a catastrophe. And we're just ready for it. We write down the action plan. Really, it helps so much. It doesn't mean that you're catastrophizing, but it helps your mind to accept any scenario that can happen. It doesn't mean you have to be afraid of them, but you know that if that happens, at least I have a plan. And I forget about that book. But if something happens, I have it. So take another good tip how to overcome fear of public speaking is to take the responsibility for the outcomes. If, for example, the presentation didn't go well. Something happened, you stumbled, you went into this freeze mode, you were very anxious. Take responsibility for what happened. Grow, be an adult. Usually people who already grew up, who became real adults emotionally and physically, they usually take the responsibility. Okay, what didn't go right? I will, take the feedback and I will use it next time to get better. But people don't like to take responsibility for their actions. They're like, oh, I better just be in this phobia and fear and, excuses, victimizing, and it just doesn't work for me. I'm not a good public speaker. When you say, I am not a good public speaker, I'm a terrible public speaker, how do you think your mind responds? It's like a genie. Okay, you're a terrible public speaker. I'm going to make everything possible to create that and to make that reality. And the final tip, and there are so many, but I love to define these. Another one is when you decrease the seriousness. When you're like, okay, this public event is the most important thing in my life. It's the most important event. 5 years from now, you'll think about that event and you'll be like, why did I worry so much? It was nothing. It was for nothing. It wasn't an important thing at all. No public speaking event is as important as your happiness, your health, your emotional state, your mental state, your family, your loved one, your feeling of connectedness and fulfillment. Nothing is more important than that. And remember, your mind will do what you tell it to do. So say to yourself beautiful, positive words. Remember, your mind came up with this fear for a reason. Find the reason. If you cannot find the trigger and resolve the conflict that triggered public speaking fear, my contacts are in the description. What other tips help you to overcome the public speaking? Comment below. I will respond to everyone. And meanwhile, I wish you all the best. Be healthy emotionally and physically. Bye.